Heels of Mitt Romney's attack on Donald Trump last week, the 2012 Republican presidential nominee sending out those robocalls to voters in the 4 states holding Republican contests today on Marco Rubio's behalf, urging them not to vote for the Republican frontrunner while claiming it's not a Rubio endorsement. Joining us right now is political strategist and former Hillary Clinton pollster Mike Berland and National Review reporter Alexis Levinson. Good to see you both. Thanks so much for joining us. Mike.
Hi, Maria. How are you?
Good to see you. Great. Tell us your data and what you're looking at now.
So I've spent the last week analyzing the social media to really understand what the impact of Mitt Romney's speech last week was. And the one conclusion that I can say conclusively is that the Republican establishment struck back and Mitt Romney is still tone deaf 4 years later. He is so out of sync with the Republican voters. He insulted the Republican voters who have already voted for Trump. He actually enraged the voters who plan to vote for Trump. And if you look at this graph, the bottom line is the awareness and the conversation around Romney's speech, and the top line is how much it made people support Donald Trump even more. So by Romney going around and having these conversations, calling him a phony and a fraud, and using these hyperbolic superlatives, it's actually emboldened the Trump supporters, because that's why they like Trump. They like him because they have confidence that he can shake it up, that he can do things differently. And Romney is best days behind.
Yeah. I think the core, I think, of Trump's support is that he's attacking elites. I mean, put aside for a second the fact that he's a billionaire who's elite in his own right. But it seems like you have someone like Romney attacking him. That just confirms what his supporters believe, which is that he's against the elites in Washington and in New York.
That's exactly right. I'm using this very sophisticated Talkwalker dashboard. So I'm looking across all traditional and social media. And so I know minute by minute. And I can see the more Romney talks, the more the establishment, like Rubio, talks and attacks Trump in these ways. It actually just drives his support.
Alexis, how do you see it?
Well, I'm just wondering if it actually makes any difference. To me, it seems like watching this whole dust-up happen, Mitt Romney was talking to the people who already think Donald Trump is not qualified to be president and is a phony and a fraud, and Donald Trump is talking to the people who think he should be president, and ridiculing Mitt Romney to the people who already think Mitt Romney is ridiculous and are looking for some kind of alternative, totally different shake it all up. And I didn't really feel like either one of them changed the narrative remotely. It just seemed like everyone talked to the people who already agreed with them, and we moved on with our lives.
So, I want to ask both of you, is an anti-establishment, anti-elitist campaign enough to take someone to the presidency? Are there enough people out there who are so mad at the elites and the establishment that they will bring Trump all the way to the presidency?
Let's look at it a slightly different way. Every election's about something. And this is going to be an emotional election, not a rational election. This is going to be about confidence to make America great again. And on both sides, I think what's happening is Trump is framed this election right, that something has happened under 8 years under Barack Obama, and we want to restore our confidence. And so he is seen as that candidate. Yeah. And that's why,
is this about confidence, or is this about anti-elitism and anti-establishment?
They go together. Confidence that you can overcome that.
Go ahead, Alexis.
I think a lot of people are a lot of Republicans in particular feel like the Republican Party isn't paying any attention to them, isn't listening to them, and Trump seems like the fastest way to just kind of set it all on fire, for lack of a better term.
On the other side. On the other side, we have the same thing, and this is why I know that this election is going to be about restoring, because the Democratic voters with Hillary and Bernie are also not satisfied. They're also, even though, look,
she's the ultimate establishment candidate.
Exactly, and while she is picking up the delegates and she's winning the primaries, there's no love for Hillary. If I go back to that same Talkwalker data, what I'm seeing is that her sentiment is significantly lower, positive sentiment about what she's doing is significantly lower than Sanders. They like Sanders. Unfortunately, he didn't really make his case to voters quick enough. He didn't have the resources. But look at this graph. He's 10 points behind. And I worked on Hillary's campaign in 2000, 2006, and 2008. Voters have never really liked her. She gets things done. They think she's effective, but the love is not there.
But Trump's negatives are worse than hers. Among all the candidates, his favorability is worse than hers, right? So you put the two of them up together, it's a choice of negatives.
Well, I think that's what's going to make this head-to-head so fascinating, is how are these two unlikable candidates going to
I think it comes
elected?
down to, do you want the establishment candidate or the anti-establishment candidate? And like, where is the support in the country for more of the same, or for someone who is going to give us something that we don't know what it's going to be?
It feels like people want something different.
Look, on the basis of the data now, you can see who has the momentum, and it's Trump. Whether he can sustain it to Election Day, who knows?
And kudos to you. You're the first person that came on this program and said, no, Bloomberg will not run. Based on your data.
I knew it then. I know it now.
Yeah.
You know, what to me is now he's showing the ads that he would have run. I mean, this is not. I think I'm his PR flack. You know, like, okay, what's this speech you would have made, Mike? Enough is enough. Let's move on. Let's move on.
You also saw Trump's rise very, very early and said everybody was getting it wrong, that Trump was a legit candidate with a lot of legs.
I'm going to stay on. You guys are very kind.
No, you did so much. No, thank you. We'll see you soon. Mike, good to see you.
Thank you.
Mike, Berland, Alexis, good to see you as well. Thanks very much for weighing in.